This video started in a different direction than it ended up. It started with just trying to get my right rear speaker to work. I thought it was a problem with the amplifier. It turned out to be a problem with some wiring in the door jamb, the flexible conduit that goes between the door frame and the door itself. And it turns out that this is kind of a common problem. So we ended up killing two birds with one stone. We ended up getting our fader working again, bypassing the Inifinity amp, and replacing a wiring harness in the door of a 3rd gen Dodge Ram. It looks like we had several wires broken, and of course we also moved the USB input into a fixed plug as opposed to just having a wire hanging out of the dashboard for the head unit. So anyway, I'll show you how we did it. Here's the wiring diagram for the factory premium sound system on the Dodge, out of the Dodge. This is out of a 2008 Dodge Ram service manual. So this shows the Inifinity amplifier going down through dark green and gray and dark green and light green wires down through connector 308, continuing, and then you can see it branches off quad cab and standard cab, and then it comes down here, and you can see that standard cab will go straight into the speaker, where there's an extension in there for the extended cab and the mega cab through another connector, connector 320. So that's kind of cool that they just put a little extension in there. So it's the same wiring harness, they just add a section in for the extended cab. All right, that's connector 308 on the left-hand side of the dashboard, down underneath. And there it is on the right-hand side of the dashboard. And what we're trying to do. See, I've already got this all torn apart. There is connector 308 in the passenger side of the truck. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to capture this rear wire right here. I'm going to try to tap into it there, cut it, splice into it, and run a separate wire from there to the back of the head unit. So the goal here is to bypass the Inifinity amplifier just for the rear speakers. You don't have fader when you put an aftermarket head unit in on a truck with the Inifinity system. So if we can bypass the rear speakers only, then we'll have fader again. And also mine has lost the rear channel on the right hand side of my Inifinity system. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out which one this is. We're looking for a gray light green and actually a gray dark green and a gray, oh hell, I don't know. I'll have to go look again. But anyway, we're gonna find it there. We're gonna check continuity. I've got the door panel off in the back so that we can check phase, make sure we get the positive and negative right, and then we'll wire it to the back of the head unit. And then we'll do it again over there on the driver's side. And that is where the Inifinity amp is located. You can see the glove compartment's been removed. It's above the air conditioning box. It's that silver thing. It's got a couple of connectors with probably about 2 dozen wires coming out of it. See all the dust in there. Man, I'm a disgusting person. Okay, that shows here that the purple is the right rear and the green is the left rear. So we're going to go ahead and attach some speaker wire to each one of those, and we'll label them. Actually, it shouldn't matter to label them because we're going to go different directions in the truck with it. But we'll just make sure we leave enough room or enough length that we can get it all the way over there. Rather waste wire than do it twice. Okay, and we got a loom that's already here. So we're gonna follow this loom down on the passenger side, and that's the plug we're going to, right there. The wider one, not the gray one. Okay, we've cut away the tape holding this together, and here's the dark green and gray. That's the positive to the rear speaker. Here's the dark green and light green, which is the negative to the rear speaker. We're going to cut these because we don't want it back feeding the amplifier, and we're going to tap into that. We're going to splice into it right there, feeding down to the rear speakers. Okay, and what we're doing now is we're going to check, double check the polarity on these. I'm going to touch them to the 6-volt battery, make sure the speaker pushes out in the rear. Not real sure how I'm going to do that by myself, but I'm going to have to figure it out. Alright, so dark green and gray should be the positive. First thing I'm going to do is just see if I can hear it. Oh, interesting. Can't hear my speaker. Huh. The colors of the speakers, the wires going to the speaker, were much different than these colors here. And it isn't shown on this wiring diagram that they change colors. So, I don't really know what that means. And I don't see the colors here. Here are the colors we have coming to the speaker back here. It's like a tan with a dark green stripe and a tan with a light green stripe. And as far as I can see, those go into the door panel, I'm sorry, into the door post same way. So we might have to pull this door post off, door post cover, and see what we've got in there. Okay, I believe that twisted pair is the speaker wire, which should be the same ones we clipped up here. Hopefully. Huh. Hopefully. I'm gonna keep troubleshooting it, keep tracing it. Okay. I think, get this in here. There is C320, I think, or something like that. I think that's where we change to the new wires. So my guess is that's where our continuity problem is. It's my guess. So we'll get the multimeter out and see what we can find. Alright, what I'm thinking is the odds of both of the wires having no continuity is slim to none. So what I'm hoping is that this plug just has an issue on one side, not the other. And I'm hoping I can figure out what to do with it once I do find it. Alright, got it there. Alright, so we have continuity up to here. Dang, look at the big brain. Shoot. Man, try not to let that go to my head. Alright. Good news. Haha! Aha! Son of a biatch. Cut the wire. Now the question is, you know what we ought to do. Hook it up the way we have it to this one. See if this back speaker still sounds good. And if it does, then hook the other side up. If it doesn't sound as good as it does with the amp, then we'll just hook it back and ditch the fader altogether. Look at that. Son of a... Look at that. Broke clean through. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going to get close to that. Look at that. Huh. Probably wish I would have started there. Alright. I don't have any of these pins, so I'm not going to repin it. I may just... I'm reluctant to solder it because it's probably getting flexed a lot. So I'll probably just crimp a new, if I can find that wire in there. There it is. There it is. Looks like all of them got pinched pretty good. Dang, those are broken. Dang. You know, I may see if I can buy this whole other harness. Okay, we're going to go ahead and wire in here. I'm going to wait on that harness to come in, and then we'll put that harness in. I'm going to run the wires, put everything back together, and then we will see how it sounds. And if it does sound pretty good still, what we'll do is we'll cut into the other side, at the driver's side kick panel, and hook it all up that way. And if it doesn't, if it sounds like crap, just doesn't have the power to drive it or whatever, we'll come back in here and reattach these wires the way they were originally. That's my plan. So, at least we'll get fader out of this ordeal. And we do know which one's positive and which one's negative based on the wiring diagram. So, we shouldn't have any issues there. And according to the wiring diagram, The speaker, right rear speaker negative, is the dark green and gray, which I made the gray speaker wire. And I'm not going to shrink those up simply because I might have to pull them back out and I don't want to waste any more wire than I have to. So let's clean those up. And I'm going to crimp a end on those output of that Inifinity amp, because I have a feeling the amp's working just fine. And I don't want to burn it up, shorten across the terminals. I'm just light crimping these on here. So hopefully I can pull them off if I need to, without tearing anything up. Okay, there we go. That should be good. Now we can focus on making this dashboard look more like a dashboard again, and I got to run the driver's side wire down. A side note, it amazes me, they got a big heavy metal cross member in this dashboard. It's bare steel, it's not painted, so they're always lightly rusted, which that just surprised me that it wasn't painted with anything. Right. Just a side note. Moving over to the driver's side rear speaker, you can see it connects to C220 plug, and it is a gray and light green, gray and dark green. That's not confusing. And here is, this is the back side. This is a really confusing view of the instrument panel, but this is the driver's side. So I'm not quite, can't quite make sense of how they're looking at it. But essentially, I think it's from the firewall looking back at it, maybe. But anyway, that's C220. All right, it looks like C220 is the small plug underneath that. So that white natural plastic color. So we're looking in that plug for a gray and light green, gray and dark green. And those will be the speaker wires for the right rear speaker. So what we're going to do is coil up our wire right next to this so we can test it afterwards. Things have gotten out of hand. Man, I eat a lot of french fries. Or I guess technically I don't. Okay, we're going to cut into this harness here. And we're going to leave the wires going this way to the amplifier capped. We're going to tap in with our wires from the radio, go to the speakers this direction. And we're looking for a gray and dark green and a gray and light green. So, I need a razor to open that harness up. Alright, and there they are. Those are the rear speaker wires. Okay. So we're going to cut into them. Just cut right here. Again, I'm going to dead butt these so that they don't end up frying my amp up there. Just in case we do need to hook it back up. Whatever reason, if it sounds like crap or whatever. All right, and the positive is gray and light green. So that will be the positive, that will be the negative. So I'll do the negative first. I think I just missed it. I did. Crap. Oh, it's always something. Alright, so dark green is the negative. Okay, let's see if it works. And we now have fader. All right, problem solved. 18 hours since I ordered this stuff, and some Amazonians dropped it off at my house. So here is the wiring harness for the rear doors in the Mega Cab. I think that's the part number, 5605 139A 3AC. I think. I can't quite remember at this point. So let's get to it. I also bought myself a USB port extender so I can actually have a flush mount USB port for my radio. That's not required for what we're doing, but I figured it would make it look nice since we've got it all torn apart. Okay, let's get to it. All right. So, the way this works is you're going to take a high quality screwdriver, preferably from Harbor Freight, but any Chinese supplier will work. Quality poking device. I'm going to stick it. You don't even really have to get under that, but just push straight in right there and you'll feel the thing let go. And it is that easy. once it comes through. So you reach in there, squeeze the little release. There we go. Got that off. This just pushes out. You can use your screwdriver. Try to push it out. Actually, we'll go in. In might be easier. There we go. And then you'll just start pulling this through, and then it'll have, you can see the little retainers. Push them through, and as you come to an electrical device, unplug it. Should just be locks and windows, and of course the speaker, but we've got the speaker out. Here is the window motor. You gotta just feel around in there. And there are rumors that this is a somewhat improved harness. I don't know if that's true. People say that it's less prone to breaking. I think they just say that, and they figure nobody's going to own the truck for another 11 years. So you'll never find out. Or it's unlikely. I'm thinking about being a hypermiler. I think that's what they call them. Maybe that's somebody that's good gas mileage. I'm not going to be one of those. Thinking the thing to do will be hook this together, see which way it wants to go in, and then plug it in the door. See which way, there we go. See which way it goes in with the least amount of strain. Okay, now that's in place, and here's the new speaker wire. They're different colors on this one. It doesn't really matter, just interesting to note. Plug's the same. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to plug this in as I go so that I don't forget any of these cable stays. Okay, so this will go to the window motor. The rest of this will come out, it appears, or at least, yeah, the rest of it will come out, and it will come back in over here somewhere. honestly, I'm going to change the routing of this because I don't think that's correct. This door was worked on once in the body shop, so I'm going to change this from, I'm going to go up this direction and then back into the hole. I don't think that's correct the way it's running now. I don't know that for a fact, but I have my doubts. So, that's what I'm going to do. My truck, I'm doing what I want. Doing what I want. Hopefully, as soon as we get this plugged in, I can put the speaker back in and we'll have music again. Alright, and this plug should just be a back. Right on the side. Yeah, that's much more better. Much more better. Okay, let's hook the speaker up. See if we got sound. And windows and everything else. I gotta figure out where I put all the screws. Got sound, but nothing else. Not a thing. Oh. Yeah. Look at that. Got a window that works. Even goes the right way. There's some things on the internet saying that the windows were reversed. Hey, so that's about sums it up. That's all you got to do. Putting it back together, you should be able to figure out on your own. So yeah, it's apparently a problem on these. So, if you have any questions, let me know. It appears we fixed everything. So, I'm not going to waste your time with putting it back together.